Hello and welcome back to our channel. Thank you for coming back. I'd like to start by saying a big thank you to everyone who watched our video last week and our Pips cast. We had some lovely comments, so thank you very much. And I'm starting this week in the kitchen, even though I'm outside, because it's the afternoon. We had a very misty morning and now the sun has come out and I'm just grabbing a bit of sunshine. So I'm starting this week in the kitchen. Two reasons. One, we went food shopping this morning and I'm getting some stock made to make some soup. And secondly, when we went to see A&G last week for Andrus's birthday, G gave me some of these. This is a marmelo, as they're called here in Portugal. In the UK they're called quince. Widely available throughout the world. They're a bit of a cross between a pear and an apple, but they have the texture of like a hard turnip before it's cooked, and they come with like all this hair, fur, which picks up the dust in the atmosphere. So what you have to do, because it's not edible, just like this, you can't eat it, you have to cook it. And I have a whole bowl full here, some much more furry than others, and I'm going to try making some quince jelly. And I've got some here just ready to wash, so I'm just going to wash them, cut them, take the seeds and the little knobbly bits out, and then cook the fruit down in water and lemon juice, and then let it run through some muslin cloth, and then make hopefully a clear and very pinkish, not yellow, jelly. Let's see if it works. Here we are back in the kitchen. I've had my dose of sunshine and I have all of my washed marmelos. I've never prepared or cooked these before, so this will be a first for me. I did some research, mainly Google searches and YouTube. Wonderful YouTube, thank you. Some say to peel the fruit and take all the pips out and then chop the fruit and cook it that way. Some say to leave the pips in. I think what I'm going to do is, using the basic rules of whatever the previous recipes that I've looked at are, I'm going to make my own. So generally it seems that if you have 1 kilogram of fruit, then you need 1 litre of water to cook them in, and then 350 grams of sugar to make the jelly after you've cooked the fruit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them and discard the peel, but I'm going to hold on to the pips and put them into a separate little muslin bag and boil it with the fruit, because I think then if I take the pips out, I'll be able to use the fruit to make something else, like a crumble, and all of the liquid I'll then be able to make into my jelly. That's the hope. So I've got my fingers crossed. So while I'm doing this, my kitchen smells really good because I have a pan on making some chicken stock like I did before when I was making chicken soup. Got a whole chicken. It's got some garlic and onions and herbs and carrot tops and bottoms. That's just about to come off, and then I'll crack on with my quince jelly. In there I've got some large strips of lemon zest and the juice of half a large lemon. And in my little bowl I've got the cores and the pips because these are supposed to be full of pectin, and that's what helps your jam or your jelly to set. So I'm going to put those in separately in a little bag so I can pull them out and not have any pips in my jelly. I've got the heat on now. I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and then, well, different recipes said to cook it for different amounts of time. Some were an hour, some were 10 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to go somewhere in the middle and say 40 minutes. It wants to be really soft and well cooked so that I'm extracting all of the flavour and the pectin out of the fruit. So I'm going to give that a go. We're about 20 minutes in. I've put a foil cover over because I don't have a lid for this big pan, and it's making a wonderful floppy noise. I don't want all of the juice to evaporate off. Woo! Yep. So another 20 minutes, and I think that should have extracted a lot of flavour and the pectin. So this is Cato that well, I'm not really looking after. You don't look after cats, but I've been coming to feed Cato while her mum and dad are away. She didn't come this morning, so she hasn't had any breakfast. So I've brought her a little slice of ham, and somebody else is trying to get in on the deal. No, don't you pinch her food. Go on, off you go. I thought while we were here I would show you the view. There's a lovely sunset going on from my neighbour's front porch. When we came out this afternoon just to take Max for a walk, we had a bit of a panic because there was a big plume of smoke in the village, the first since the big fire that we had back in the summer. But immediately just realised that it was people burning their olive branches and leaves. So there's a lot of people who have been harvesting their olives and pruning at the same time, and now they have lots of spoil. They don't want to leave it lying around because they're not usually here for the rest of the year. But it was really spooky just for a second or two to see a big plume of smoke back in the village. I left the fruit to cook for 40 minutes with the bag in and all the pips. Then I've left it to cool so I could actually touch it, and this is what's left. So I've squeezed that bag with all the pips and the cores in, and I could feel the thick pectin syrup running out, and that's now in with the fruit. So this is my cooled fruit, still in the juice, and I'm going to clean out my muslin cloth, then put all of that fruit in and let the juice drain out, and it's the juice that we're going to make the jelly from, but that'll be tomorrow. Hello, back again. Day 2 on the marmello jelly. I have to stand in this weird angle because if I move, woohoo, I have a halo. Anyway, what have I done so far? I have taken all of the fruit out of the syrup, put it into my muslin bag and let that drain overnight, so it just dripped very slowly, and I've reserved all of the juice. It's thick and syrupy already, so I know I'm going to get a really good set. I'm about to put the sugar in and then get it up to a rapid boil and get a set on the go. I have my jars in the pot just starting to boil, so they'll be sterilised and hot to accept the hot jelly, and then I'm going to use the leftover fruit to hopefully make a marmello crumble. We'll see how that turns out. And this is what's left of the fruit, the puree that's left, all cooked. It doesn't have any sugar in, it's just been squeezed out to make all the lovely juice for the jelly. So I'm going to add some sugar to this and then make a crumble topping, and that should be a good use of the fruit too. I don't have an oven proof dish like a glass or a ceramic dish, so I've got one of my smaller pans. I've lined it with some grease proof paper. I'm going to put the fruit in the bottom and the crumble mixture on top. For my crumble mixture, I've got plain flour, brown sugar, some margarine and some rolled oats. Just going to pop them in rub them all together and then put it on top of the fruit. I've tested my jam for a set and it was so fast, 10 minutes boiling. There's so much pectin in these fruits, is excellent. So while my jars are hot, I will fill them up as fast as I can with the hot jam and then get the lids straight on, fasten them tight, and as it cools it will create that vacuum seal which will keep it safe. I can even see a skin forming on the top of the jam in the pot. Now I know you can make a thick fruit puree jam, the traditional Portuguese marmalade, with these fruits as well, but I just wanted to try this because it said it was a quick recipe, and it really is, whereas the marmalade does take quite a few hours to cook down, and I don't really have the luxury of either the time to do that or the gas to do that. It's setting on the spoon as I'm pouring it. I was probably optimistic getting 4 jars ready, but you just never know. And there we go, from fruit to jelly in almost a day. Really pleased with that. Yeah, it sets so fast. I only had to boil that for 10 minutes and I know it's going to set really well. I only got 2 jars, but at least I've got a lot more fruit that I can do a larger batch. And going to get on with my crumble. There we go, that's my crumble ready to go in the oven. I'll pop it in tonight when I'm making dinner and hopefully it'll be delicious. I'm sure it will. Look what's arrived at last. I turned my brown upside down. There we go. So with any luck this will be my tile cutter. It's definitely not this big, but hurrah for the cardboard. So let's see what we got. Nothing in there. Did they have a bigger box? There we go then. Oh, Old Faithful. Fabulous. Right, so guess what I'm doing today? So here I am. I'm finishing off all of the spaces that I left. So when I previously tiled, I did the bathroom and then I came all the way out with full tiles and went all the way through the bedroom, and now I just have all of the cut tiles to do. So what I've been doing is I'm making it easy. I'm not doing any fancy nibbling out or anything like that. I've literally cut this tile in a straight and then I've kept its partner, cut that to the size I need, and then that will go in there. So I'm going to cut as many of the tiles as I can for now. Then I'll make up my mix to glue them in and then move on to the other side. So that's all the tiling in the bedroom done, and it's grouted. So now it's just the washing it all down all the time to get the residue off. But it looks really good. We're very pleased with how it came out. That'll do. That's all we need, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Good windy Wednesday morning. We're having a day off today, so we've just been out for a walk, and we literally, this is down the side of our land, this is our fence line just here, and there's like a pond on the other side of these pine trees, and there's a path down both sides of it, so we were just having a bit walk down there and found a nice handful of the saffron cap mushrooms, nice fresh ones. And before I had the camera, we found 2 big pieces of cork oak, just the cork bark lying on the ground, and a few more of the mushrooms that we found. And seeing as we were so close, we just popped them over the fence. I'm going to pop down there and collect them, so I'll show you what we got. Okay, we're inside where we put up the fence to keep Max out of the pond, and we just popped the bark and the other couple of mushrooms inside the fence. So let's have a look. Here they are. Here we go. 3 nice mushrooms and 2 wonderful pieces of bark. They're huge. Look at the patterns on that. Isn't that amazing? Just lying on the ground. So I'll find something to do with them. But now I have to carry everything back up to the garden house. That's lovely, aren't they? You've got little things growing in them. The texture on them is amazing. So I have to find something really good to do with these. And mushroom haul. Lovely. We'll get those brushed off, and they'll be delicious. Might take those with us this afternoon. We're going to see Debbie and Steve from Portugal Dreams. We've been invited over for dinner, so that might go nicely. What I've come to do at the end of our walk is, strangely, to water the garden. Hello, lovely. Yeah, I know, Dad's just up there, isn't he? I have to wait for him. He's checking out the... What's he doing? He's checking out the wildlife camera, isn't he? Yeah, he's checking it out. So, yes, strangely, I've come to water the garden. After all of the water that we had in October, we now haven't had any rain for about, what day is it? Wednesday. 10 days. And it's very windy too. So the soil is drying out quite quickly. So I will give just the beds, the raised beds, some water, just so that the beetroots and the turnips and everything can keep beefing up, because we're really enjoying them. It's really blowing the cobwebs away.
Yeah, so I've just picked up another 3. What are these called? Saffron milk caps?
Yep.
Yeah, another 3 just from our land, just here.
Beauties.
Yeah, they're really nice quality ones as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I just showed everybody what we picked on our walk this morning.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so we might clean them up and take them to Debbie and Steve this afternoon.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent.
Yep, I'm telling them about you. Okay, so we're off to Debbie and Steve's now. Just with a stop at the land. So you know we were out this morning having a walk when we found the
Mushrooms?
cork and the mushrooms. Yeah. By the time we got home, Darren decided that he'd lost his glasses.
I'd
These are his-
realised that
Yeah.
I'd lost my glasses.
Didn't decide. Yeah, these are your prescription sunglasses, aren't they? So it's not just like we can pick them up anywhere else. So you were looking all around the land where you were checking the wildlife camera and everything, and I retraced our steps back to where you started filming and photographing some mushrooms, and sure enough, that's where they were.
That's where they were.
Yep.
So Elaine found them, and I'd
Looked like you'd knelt on them.
I'd knelt on them, yeah, as well. So they're a little bit out of shape again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've managed to put them back into almost good, so we'll be okay
Yeah.
to drive anyway.
Okay, let's go then.
So I've just had to turn the air conditioning off there because it was making a lot of noise, but I'm not complaining. Air conditioning in the middle of November is actually not too bad at all. So Elaine's just popped into Lidl's now. We're running a little bit late, partially or mainly because we've had to search for my glasses that I lost and stood on in the forest this morning. But yeah, just before getting to Lidl, we were just in Auchan, which is just a supermarket about 5 minutes from here. And there was a gentleman in the car park and he was selling oranges and squash and olives, but we weren't quite sure what he'd done with the olives. So we've picked up about 8 oranges, maybe 8 or 10 oranges from him, and this big squash here. And for both of those items, it cost us €7, which I think, considering the amount of time it's taken him to grow this one, that's probably not too bad at all. And Elaine felt a little bit sorry for him because she didn't think he was selling anything. He just sat there looking a little bit sad. So he got us. No, he didn't really. So yeah, so very good. So I kind of fancy one at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll get on our way, and yeah, when Elaine's finished, and we'll get up on our way to Debbie and Steve's.
We had a lovely afternoon yesterday with Debbie, Steve and Ellie Rose, and Max had a lovely time playing with their 2 dogs, Alfie and Dottie, even though Dottie thought she was in charge. So today is getting on with it. I'm going to rub down the rendering that I did in the bedroom and then get that painted, get all of the edges painted, Yep, get it all rubbed down so that it's feeling finished and I can get the paint out of there and start thinking about some bedside cabinets and getting on with the window project. So let's get all the little bits finished first. This is the doorway, or the back of the doorway that I blocked up, that I'm going to rub down and then paint, and then I'm going to finish rendering around this doorway, and then let me see if I can make it clear. Oh, we'll lie on the bed. So this is our ceiling. This side of the ceiling only ever got 1 coat of paint, whilst this side of the ceiling got 2 coats of paint. Okay, it was over a year ago. So then I'm going to give this side of the ceiling 2 coats of paint, and I'll probably give that side of the ceiling 1 coat of paint, and hopefully that's all the painting done in the bedroom. I was just painting the ceiling and then I remembered to show you how the little corner was up here. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I saw a small slight damp patch and I went round the back and I did that repair. So it's dried out and I think it's worked. So nothing there. I know it's hard to see when it's just all white on white, but yeah, I think it worked quite well. So I've still got my fingers crossed though.